Greetings, Warlords. Welcome to Saga Thursday, the show all about the skirmish miniatures game from Studio Tomahawk. Today, I'm joined my good friend Zach. How's it going, buddy?
Hi, good.
All right, we're going to be doing a battle report today. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Agreed. I think you've done one before. You're in the learning battle report.
Yep, the learning one.
The most popular one by far. And this one should be fun because it is going to be the first part of a campaign. Is that right?
Yep.
You've agreed to it.
Oh, yes.
So we haven't. I'm a little nervous. We haven't recorded these in advance or anything. So, well, we're committed. We're going to do a 5-part campaign between the two of us. I will be running the Eastern Princes. What faction will you be using?
I will be doing the Ordenstadt, the Baltic.
That's right. We are reenacting the Baltic Crusades here. You'll be running Ordens, and I will be using the Eastern Princes, the Lithuanian variant, the Pagans. So my Heathens forces are stretched to the limits in time and acceptability, and we are going to have a lot of fun here. So there's going to be 5 games. We're playing through the Fimbulwinter scenarios. And there's kind of 3 elements to the campaign. So we're going to be using the Fimbulwinter tournament points. So 3 points for a win, 2 for a draw, and if you accomplish a certain objective, you get an extra point. And typically those tournament points would be, how you win the tournament, whoever has the most points. But between you and me, we'll keep track of that. And that's going to be in the final scenario. Those are going to be additional massacre points that we've already accrued. So if I score 12 tournament points over 3 games and Zach scores 4 or 5, something like that, I'll start the game with a 6 or 7 point advantage, the difference. So that's how the games leading up to the finale will influence it in one way. So the 5th game, whoever wins the 5th game will win the campaign. But the games 1 through 4 will add additional massacre points and make it easier to win. The second aspect to the campaign is we're going to use the from the Book of Battles. In the end pages, there's a little Warlord experience section. So we're going to use that, and our Warlords over the games will get those little abilities. So just from what I remember, we might get 1 or 2 abilities over the course of 5 games is my guess how that's going to work. Now the third aspect of the campaign, which is going to make it interesting, is so when you win, you get the points. It's going to be easier to win the overall campaign. If you lose, you're going to get an additional point of troops for the rest of the campaign. So we're starting at 4 points for this first battle. And so whoever loses is going to get an extra point for their next battle and all the ones thereafter. So if we go in and Zach doesn't pull it out for this one, he'll get 5 points for the next one versus my 4 points. We'll play again. And if he loses again, a point is pretty big in Saga, so I'm a little doubtful that I'd be able to pull it out again. But he would have 6 points, and I would have 4 points. So at some point, it's just mathematically, I'll be outnumbered. But that's just part of the campaign. I'm fine with that. I think it'll be a good challenge and make the scenarios pretty interesting, actually, if you're going down. And then at some point when I lose, so if Zach loses this one, he's playing 5 for the next one against my 4, and then I lose that one, then we're both at 5 again. And so you could, kind of, if you want to lose all the games, so you could have 8 additional points for the last one. That might work, but I'm gonna win all those games, so I'm gonna have 15 or 20 massacre points ahead of you in the final game, and I don't even have that many troops for you to kill to even bring that back. So it should be pretty interesting way to do a 2-person type campaign, and the skill levels aren't necessarily even. We haven't really played these troops against each other, so this warband matchup Should be interesting. We haven't done it before. So we'll just keep it interesting. Now, the first scenario here is 3 sages from the tournament pack, which is a variation of ambush, just some little tweaks to it, which we can get into. But there's no troops deployed at the start of the game, so I think we will, before we get to the battle, I'll show off some really nice pictures of the troops that we're using. But when we join the battle, it'll be basically the start of turn 2 after our troops are already on the board. You don't need to see us just moving the stuff on. And Zach went first. He won the roll. So it'll be Zach's first turn when we get to it. So how are you feeling? Feeling
Pretty
good?
excited.
Yeah.
I want to play the Ordenstadt for a bit here, and we're going to give them a whirl. So.
Yeah, so I'm using troops that I've had for a while. I've just built the wagon for the princes, and you have built these specifically for this campaign and for Fimbulwinter running at the event itself. So yeah, this should be fun. This should be a good one. All right, we'll see you out there. For the princes, I'm using a warlord mounted on a horse. No option there. I've got a point of mounted Hearthguard. Now I'm using them as Lithuanians, so I'm fudging this a bit as they are armed with javelins. I've got a point and a half of warriors, just in 1 unit of 12 with no special equipment. The half point left over was used to recruit the war wagon here. Last point is 12 levy with bows in a single unit. If you like these models and want to know how I painted them, you can check out the Nadiral shading video. Moving on to Zach's Ordenstadt. We've got a warlord on foot. He's got a heavy weapon here, but during the game we just use him as a no special equipment warlord. From there, Zach has 2.5 points of Hearthguard on foot, split into 2 units of 5. With no special equipment. And rounding it out, we have a 1.5 of warriors with crossbows. And he's got them in a single unit of 12. The scenario we're playing is called 3 Sages. This is a variant of ambush. And these are the 3 sages we'll be trying to recruit to our cause. I'll have a link to the scenario in the tournament packet in the description below. Essentially, though, the 3 sages are caught between our 2 armies. They move a random distance. Our forces move on the first turn, so there's not much to watch. We are trying to capture them, so you can't declare shooting attacks against them. Their stats are like baggage. And when you put that final casualty through, they'll turn into an objective marker. You get a bonus point for defeating them as the baggage. And if you still have that objective marker at the end of the game, it's worth 3 more bonus points. In order for someone to get the big win here, they're going to have to capture all 3 objectives. Now that we've both moved on, let's jump into the action. Right, at the start of the second turn, this is how it's looking. One of the sages got a little bit ahead of his companions, but otherwise they did 2 decent moves. So Zach had everything move on once, and then with We Obey from his warlord, moved up that unit of 5 Hearthguard a second time, so they have a fatigue on them. On my side, I bunched up everything over here. Didn't put anything next to the swamp here on the other side, so hopefully that works out. And I use We Obey from my warlord to double move that unit of warriors, and the wagon here has determination, so I was able to move on for free and then use this determination to move a second time, so it has a fatigue as well. So Zach is getting ready to roll his Saga dice for his second turn, and we've decided for 4-point warbands, the warlords are going to get 2 Saga dice per generation instead of 1. We found that that works really well for having a good game of Saga at a small points value. So Zach is generating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Saga dice. Let's roll them. So everything has to roll in the box to count. So the helmets are the commons. So 4 commons and 1 uncommon from the horsemen. And if you get the shield, that is the rare. So 4 commons and an uncommon to work with. Zach has used his uncommon for Din of Battle. He's got Tyrants up. These are both melee type abilities, 2 charges, and then 2 Hearthguard activations. Zach's Warrior Crossbowmen are moving with We Obey from the Warlord. And we almost forgot to move the Sages. They'll always activate at the start of each player's activation phase, so you're never quite sure where they're going to be. Next, Warlord will use Determination to move up. He's still stuck at a short. Activate that unit of Hearthguard with a die. They're going to move medium, so the Sages do count as enemy for maneuver purposes, so you wouldn't be able to get them up without. So that's going to be it for Zach's turn. So he did have Slay the Pagans up, so we had a discussion about whether these Hearthguard units should, go in a charge against that fellow there. So Zach didn't want to overcommit too early and end up with fatigued Hearthguard units and with no defensive abilities. So he's going to stay the course for now, and next turn he's going to roll 5 more dice. So if he keeps his 3 dice on the board, he'll have 8. So I'll have a full run for turn 3. So let's see what I can get up to. So I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with our rules here. So, all right, just like Zach, rolling 5 commons and 1 uncommon. Going with 2 Hearthguard, 2 Warrior activations. This Crossfire is always good. And Hesitation will mess with Zach on his turn. For the Sages. Spend a die to rest the Warriors, and another die to send them into melee. I got 12 Warriors with 12 attacks. Zach has 3 dice for the baggage. He's hitting me on 4s. I'm hitting on 5s. I actually got to get pretty lucky here to take him out of 1 hit, but we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you hit me twice. So the 2 for me, you're unarmed, blocking on 4s. 2 fails, of course. If you fail all 4 of these, I'll get you. But if you save at least 1, you'll just be exhausted. Save 2. So 2 go through, you block with resilience. Take a 3rd fatigue from the fight. I lose 2 guys. Lose 2 models. Spend a die. Move these Hearthguards up. I'm going to pop Crossfire, so you have to reroll 2 successful saves, potentially. But I have to hit you on 5s first, and you don't have any abilities to use. So 1 hit, and you got to reroll it if you succeed. Fails. And we'll have to set him aside. He was killed by shooting, so he only counts as a warrior for victory points. The wagon is going to use its determination to move. It's going to carry that fatigue with it. We obey to move up the levee. Lord's determination. He's going to move up. And then we'll spend a saga die. Move these guys to here. And then back to here. They'll have a fatigue at the end of that. All right, end of my turn. That went fine. I did withdraw in such a way that the sage over here cannot move past my warriors. So he might bounce into them and put a fatigue on them. And he might slough off his fatigue, depending on the roll. But I'll be able to keep that guy from moving on. So Stuff's getting exhausted. A little bit of a traffic jam. Kind of wish I had put my archers over here. Just have a little more room to run the Hearthguard around, but it's looking all right here. Zach has to make a move on one of these objectives pretty soon here, or else they're going to scoot off the table. So he's rolling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Saga dice. Still has 3 on his board from last time, so I think you're just going to keep those, right?
Yep.
All right, bring it on. So 4 commons and the rare. All right, we've got 1 warrior activation, 2 dice in combat pool to put the rare on Knock Osten, and got a little shooting defense up. So these were left from last turn. I'm going to pop Hesitation, and I'm going to nominate Knock Osten. If Zach triggers Knock Osten this turn, then I get to put 2 rares on my board at the end of the turn. So I don't help me during the turn, but at the end of it, it gives me a leg up for my next turn. So both of these stay put. He removes all his fatigues that I put on him. And that guy will move short. I will use We Obey from the Warlord to move those Hearthguard. Termination on his Warlord. Get him out of those woods. Zach is going to pop Slay the Pagans. We're cooking with gas here. So activate 2 units within S of each other for a charge. So there's only 2 options here. It's the Warrior Crossbows going into that fella, and these guys going in to the Bard fellow. Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do into this guy
All
first.
right. They will mob in. Looks funny for some reason. Get him! All right. So generate 3 attack dice. Zach's getting 12 from those warriors. He's going to use combat bonus, both of them, to gain 2 attack dice. And he's going to make sure to do what my guys didn't do, which is finish the job. And then he's going to pop Tyrants. He'll roll 3 or re-roll 3 attack dice. And do you want to remove a figure?
I will remove a figure.
So he's going to remove one of his warriors from that unit, and he'll get to re-roll up to 6 of these misses here. So he's hitting on 5s with some re-rolls. I'm hitting on 3s. 2 hits. And you definitely need those re-rolls. So you hit twice, and you get to pick up 6 of those. Looking for 5s again. 4, just like I did. So I have to make 1 of them for that guy to live. But I did 2 hits on you. And you're blocking on 4s because he's unarmed. I'm just a simple man, Zach.
Just a simple.
2 dead, or 1 dead.
1
so
dead.
The 4 block. And then I need at least 1 5+ here, or else you will capture the objective. So I did save 2 to go through, just like me. So he will survive. He'll be exhausted. You're going to lose 1 guy for popping Tyrants with the enhanced ability, and then 1 guy as a casualty. And it's going to be exhausted. And you withdraw. The other charge here, these guys going in. Let's see if I can get lucky there too. Coming in with 10 attack dice. I've got 3. He's decided to use Din of Battle, which will put a fatigue onto the Sage before the combat even begins. So he only needs to get 3 casualties through. The downside is he has to reroll defense dice. So he's hoping that I just miss with these. So I do need 5s. So let's see. I got 1 through. And there we go. 4 hits. And so, not too shabby. So we'll do the 4 against me. I need to make 2 of these, or else he's going down. So I only saved 1, so you've successfully captured the objective. And you're going to block on a 4+, but if you succeed, you have to try again. Doesn't matter. Goes down. All right. So you've gained the objective. He's gone. You got to remove one casualty. And since you actually captured the objective, killing the baggage gets 1 point. So, way to go, buddy. And they will have a fatigue. He's going to send these boys back in using his last warrior activation. I've got 3 attacks. Once again, he's down to 10 for 10 warriors. I'm hitting him on 4s because I'm exhausted. He's hitting me on 5s to start with, but I'm going to use one of their fatigues to increase my armor to 6. So just hoping not to see any of these pesky birds here. If he gets 1 through unsaved, he will capture it. So let's see what happens. 2 hits. Oh, 4. Probably not gonna make that. So I'm looking. I need all 5s. Nothing. So you do gain the objective, but I did hit you twice, and you're blocking on 4s. Saved them both. So gain the objective, and they will have 2 fatigues. End of Zach's turn, 3, and I think that turned out all right. The dice could have been a little kinder, but you got the job done in both those spots. So now I have to respond on my turn. This guy is still could probably cause an issue or 2 for me if he rams into my boys, but I gotta put the heat on. I'm still generating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 commons, 1 uncommon, 2 rares. Well, before I get too far along here, I will pop Galvanized. So Zach has 3 fatigues in his warband, so I can remove a fatigue from 1 or 2 units. I'll remove fatigue from these guys and these guys. I'm going to use 1 for activation pool. 2 commons. All right, so I used my other horse to activation pool as well. Ended up with more commons. So we're just going raw Saga here. I just have Brothers in Arms up. The rest of the board's clear. 3 Hero Hearthguard and 3 warrior activations. Let's see what our chum here ends up doing. 4. It's going to smash into my guys and bounce back. Puts a fatigue on them. These guys are going to rest with a die. They're going to move with a die, and then they're going to charge with that last warrior die. So they're going to end up in melee with these guys with a fatigue on them. So we both have 10 attacks from 10 warriors. I'm armor 4 because I'm the melee kind. He's crossbow, so he's armor 3 to start with. I'm going to use one of your fatigues to increase your armor, or increase my armor by 1 from 4 to 5. What do you want to do? I have a fatigue.
I will lower you back down to 4s.
Okay, and then I'll use your other fatigue to lower you to 2s. And my Brothers in Arms abilities, we have the same unit size, so it's not going to do anything, and you don't have anything going for you over there. So you're hitting me on 4s, I'm hitting you on 2s. 2 misses. So 5 on you, not bad. I got 8 on you. So I'm looking for 5s. Come on, save 2. I killed 3. Dirty clown. Oh. 3 on 3, I'll bounce. So defender removes casualties first. These 3. Right here, the wagon's gonna rest with its determination. Spend a die to move it. And then we'll actually spend another die to move it. I'll have a fatigue at the end of this. We'll do We Obey on these archers to shoot at your Hearthguard. Got 6 shots, normally hitting on 5. Zach popped Zealous Works, put a fatigue on them, but increases their armor by 2. They're going to cap out at 6, so looking for 6s. 2 hits, didn't make a difference. And you have a fatigue. Alright, so you're blocking on 4s. Oh, that is rough. But makes up for your shenanigans with your crossbows. So that's the game of Saga. Determination on the Warlord. She's going to charge in. Alright, so I've got 8 attack dice from the Warlord. Zach has wisely decided to close ranks, try to withstand the assault, but saves a couple hits on me probably. So I'll use both of his fatigues to take his armor down. So he'll go from 5 to a 4 to a 3. And he's going to be on 5s. 3s for me. 2 misses and 4 hits. So it's going to be dicey here. You gotta save at least 1 to live would be nice, but for you at least. And I'm hoping you just die. Save 2, fail 2. So exactly what I needed over there. So nobody is within short. So I will claim the objective. And need a fatigue from the fight. I'm on a horse. So I'm probably just going to be hanging out there for most of the game, because if I move short and I take a fatigue at the end of each of those moves. So with my last Hearthguard activation, we will move up the Hearthy G's here. So they're within short of the Warlord, but more than short away from the wagon if you were to blow it up. All right, end of my turn 3. So very happy over here. Should have grabbed the objective over here, but kind of balances out. So Zach's down a Saga die. He's going to have some interesting decisions to make. And he's going to generate 1, 2, 3, 4 Saga die. 2 rares, 2 commons. All right, so Knock Ostin was up before. There's a rare there. Put the rare on Sword Brothers, rare on Din of Battle, common on Tyrants, and then a common for Bruder. So 1 Hearthguard activation. For the Sage, stays put. Zach will trigger Knock Ostin. He's going to move the crossbows first. So this is a move of short. Basically all units move short. This doesn't count as an activation for future activations, and it doesn't generate a fatigue if the sequence was different. All right, Warlord and Hearthguard. Coming up. We obey.
We obey.
Charge in. All right, they're going against the wagon. Have to. I've got 4 dice on the wagon. Zach has 8 from 4 Hearthguard. Armor 6. He's armor 5. He's going to use Din of Battle, and he had a rare there, so he put another fatigue on the wagon and a fatigue on my Warlord to boot. So he only needs to get 3 hits through to take me out on this one. So he's also popped Tyrant, so he's re-rolling 3 of these. So he's looking for 6s. I'm looking for 5s. 1 hit for me. Re-roll 3 of those, homie. Nothing. So the wagon is going to live for sure, but this is my 1 hit. Doesn't block it, so it's going to be exhausted. The hit on you, saving on a 5. You have to re-roll it if you pass due to Din of Battle. Not a problem. 3rd fatigue for me, and you will bounce. All right, Zach's got one Hearthguard activation die left. He's putting them in. They're going back in. They'll have 2 fatigues when they go back in. I've got 4 attack dice. Zach has 6. I'm armor 6. He's armor 5. He's looking for 6s, looking for 5s. I don't want to see any birds. Any birds. 1 hit on you. 1 bird. It's 1 to 1. Why don't you roll yours first? Looking for a 5+. Another bird. I hate those dice. All right, let's see if I can pull it off myself. Oh, so close. So the wagon goes down. I made sure these guys were out of short. My warlord will become exhausted. All right, Zach sending his warlord in with determination. He'll have a fatigue. I'm exhausted. But I do have 4 Hearthguard back there, so we shall see. So we both have 8 attack dice. I am exhausted, so I'm going to hit you on 6s with the -1. You're hitting me on 5s. I'm going to, you spent my fatigue to reduce my armor by 1, and I spent your fatigue to take it back up. So you're looking for 5s again, and I'm looking for 6s. 1 hit.
2 hits to you.
All right. So hopefully I can make 1 of these at least. Nope. So I'm going to have to sacrifice a Hearthguard to stay alive. 1 on you. Tails. You'll have 2 fatigues after the fight. You're going to bounce. I'll have 3 fatigues. Still have the objective, but one of these jabronis is going down. I'll take out this guy right here. All right, turn 4, not too bad. Got rid of that pesky wagon. That'll kill a Saga dice. Got you some points back. Both have an objective still. Mine's on a warlord. I got to keep him alive. You do have that Sword Brothers ability up, so my counterattack potentially is going to potentially blunted, but this guy's still in play here, so we'll see what goes down with him. I'm generating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Saga dice. 3 uncommons, 1 common, 1 rare. Play Galvanized to remove a fatigue from my warriors here and my warlord. All right. So after I popped Galvanized, I used the rare for activation pool. Got 2 more commons. So Brother in Arms was up from before. So I got Ad Nauseam, Orders of the East, 2 warriors, 1 levy. This guy does 2 moves short. Spend a die on the warriors. Charge into the crossbows. You got 7 attacks. I'm hitting you on 3s because your crossbows on 4s. I'll spend your fatigue. That is from before to hit you on 2s. Got him. Well, not bad. 4 coming back. So 7 on you, 4 on me. Save 2. Did 2. A lot of pips there, but so you save 3, so I kill 4. So I lose 2, you lose 4. First, remove these 2, and I do claim that objective. And then you will fall back. Over here, have to use Wheel Bay to charge. Both got 6 attack dice from 3 Hearthguard. You gonna close ranks?
Yep, I will close ranks here.
All right, takes away my +1. So I will use one of your fatigues to increase my armor by 1. Goes back to you.
I will use Sword Brothers.
So Zach's gonna use Sword Brothers on a rare. Gain 4 attack dice, or 4 defense dice.
Defense dice, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna. I don't think there's much point in proceeding here, so I'm gonna use another one of your fatigues to increase my armor to 6. So with the -1 to hit, you won't be able to get any of those nasty birds on me. So I'll leave your last fatigue and I'll hit you on 5s. So 1 hit, you're rolling 5 defense dice. Looking for 4s. Saved it. I'll bounce. Both take another fatigue. Levies are gonna spend a die to shoot. So 1 is out. So everybody but 1, so 6 attack dice. Hit you on 5s. 1 hit. Jumped in. Counts as a shooting casualty. 3 javelin shots going against the Hearthguard as well. You have the fatigue. You can increase your armor from 5 to 6 or leave the fatigue on. 3 shots.
I'll leave the fatigue on.
Okay, looking for 5s. 1 hit. Saved that one with the dirty bird. Couldn't see it, but it was there. Termination to rest. That's my turn 4. Grab the other objective. Fatty here might get away, but my warlord, he's sitting all right, but we'll be moving on to turn 5. Jack is rocking 1, 2, 3 Saga dice. Let's see what he can do. Not sure what hope there is or the play, but we'll see if we get those rares to get to. So some of those rares are pretty good. So if you do want to cash them in right away or not, but I'll let Zach mull it over. So he's got 2 Hearthguard hero activations, Tyrants. He put the rare on Din of Battle. So whichever combat he wants, he'll be able to put a fatigue on both my Hearthguard and my Warlord. Over here, some slight buffs. I can give resilience to the Hearthguards. I can do ad nauseam. Might get an extra reroll or 2. And brothers, these are for the warriors. It's not going to come into play this turn, or probably any turn. Zach will use determination to rest. And then what's the sequence here? Hearthguard first, or Warlord first? And Warlord could, if he goes in first, the Hearthguard will be next to him. Hearthguard go first. I think you could do your play and try to exhaust my Warlord, potentially, but I don't know. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Hearthguard going first.
Okay, so you have 2 dice. What are you gonna? And you have 2 fatigues. Are you just gonna declare a charge, or what's the deal?
We're gonna
Or
charge
rest them. Okay, so you're declaring a charge against who?
the warlord.
Against my Warlord?
Yep.
Oh, you cheeky boy. I will. Yeah, why don't you come in? Let's play. All right, I've got 8 attacks to your 4 attacks. We're both armor 5. You have 2 fatigues, but you're up first on using a Saga ability. What are you thinking?
I will use Tyrants.
Tyrants, okay. You want to sacrifice a Hearthguard to reroll? It's not going to make much of a difference. Yeah. Reeling 3 versus 4, so probably not a good idea. Okay. I will use one of your fatigues to increase my armor to 6. Back to you.
I will use Den of Battle.
Okay, yeah. So that'll put a fatigue on my Warlord, put a fatigue on the Hearthguard behind. And you're going to reroll your defense saves. So I'll take your down to a 4 with your other fatigue. And that's going to have to be as good as it gets. So you're looking for 6s, some rerolls, looking for 4s. Spare, you might have a guy left after this. All right, so 1 hit so far, you get to reroll 3 of those. Oh, just 1. So 1 on me, saved it, but I'll take a fatigue for the fight. 2 on you. You're going to reroll successes here, so you have to just fail. So reroll that bird. Got him, just barely. Woo. So they're eliminated. Boosh. You send the warlord in?
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's coming in. 1 fatigue. All right, 8 to 8. Our boards are clear. I'm exhausted, so I'm hitting you on 6s, and you're hitting me on 5s. You have a fatigue. I have 3 fatigues. You're gonna leave it?
I will take 1 of your fatigues and lower you.
Okay, so you're hitting me on 4s. I'll use your fatigue and take myself back up to a 5. Okay, back to you. Anything more?
Nope.
Okay, so you're looking for 5s. I'm going to pop this ad nauseum. If I get a 6, I can reroll. For each 6 I get, I can reroll additional dice, but it's probably not going to come into play. I actually did. So I got 2 6s, so I can reroll 2 of these. So 4 hits. Here, 2. So the 2 on me. Save 1, fail 1. That'll kill a Hearthguard standing next door. And 4 on you. Gotta make 3 of them. Which you do? All right. Way to go. So you killed a Hearthguard to save myself. And you're going to bounce and be exhausted at the end of it. So this is probably effectively the game, but I need to try to see if there's any way of catching this guy, and we totally forgot to move him at the start of your turn. So roll a dice and see what he does. Stays put. All right, second pull off Men-at-Arms and Brother-in-Arms. They're useless. Well, I'll keep Men-at-Arms up. This Brother-in-Arms I'm going to pull just so I have a die available if I get a bunch of rares, which I got 2. So 2 rares, 2 uncommons, and a common. 1 right away on Galvanized. Remove 2 fatigues. 1 from the Warlord, 1 from the Hearthguard. All right, cashed in both of the horses after Galvanized to get some more dice. Loading up the levies here. They're going to go to town. And let's see what I can do with this fellow here. What's he going to do? 2. That is a short. Use Determination to rest. We obey to rest. I'm going to move these levies with a die. Spend a die on the levies. I'll have a fatigue at the end of this. See if I can shoot your warlord down like the dog he is. 6 shots, looking for 5s. Ah, levy. Killing me. All right. He lives. Fatigue, last die with the levy. They'll charge in to this jabroni here. I'll have 4 attacks. You're going to have 3. Hit me on 3s. I'll hit you on 6s because you're going to spend their fatigue. So let's see. Nothing over here.
Got 3.
3, looking for 4s. Killed a levy, and they'll back off. We'll use Death Blow. Gives them a long plus S charge range on my Javelin boys. So they can charge in 4 attacks to your 3. I'm going to pop Lord of the East to give myself resilience. Don't want you killing any of these guys. Somehow that'd be the worst. To do it, I do have javelins, so I'm hitting you on 4s. And you're hitting me on 4s because of my javelins. Alright. Not gonna do it with this one. So 1 hit on me. Okay. Alright, 2 on you. This is the 1 on me. Doesn't save. I can block it with a fatigue. Or, you know what? I didn't think about that. So you take 1 and save it with resilience. So after the fight, you'll be 3. So I have 1 last activation on these guys. I could just end it. So I could lose 1 and just have 1 fatigue and try again, or I'm gonna have to let it go. So 2 fatigues. I do have a free javelin shot, so 2 shots on your warlord. Do you want to do anything with those fatigues? If you do spend them, I could try to go back in again and try to grab the objective. Okay, so 2 on the warlord, looking for 5s. No, smart play. I will. I think that's it. So that is turn 5. So technically, we could have another crack at it if we decide to keep going. But Zach, roll 2 Saga dice. Maybe, depending what you roll here, maybe we'll just call it 2 commons.
We're going to call it.
All right. So we're going to call it here. I'm okay with that. I don't really think that I could have... I don't think I could have gotten them. It depends. With Galvanized and Resting, I could free up those guys again. But if he's shunted them all on this next one, that might just be it. So he has 2 tries to shunt the fatigue. So overall, decent game. Right, end of the battle, Zach. How'd you feel about that? Was that the first run with the Ordens?
Yep, that's my first game with the Orden shot.
So I think you did pretty good. Just the first run, we were trying to puzzle out what the best way to do things was. And I think it's a little trickier at these small point games, 4 points. Maybe you won't get a rare for most of the game, but we both had a nice surplus of those. And I felt especially that was really useful for me on those turns. So I roll 1 or 2 of them. And I always throw those in the activation pool. I think this will be a good series. I think these warbands are pretty well matched against each other. I've got different abilities that are pretty good, but only certain units can use them. So I have to do a combined arms type approach, and I can't always do what I want. But for this scenario, it's a bit of a scramble anyways. And I think having Knock Osten first turn, I think would have made a big difference. I don't think you got it till second turn. So I think that in itself, might have made a big difference there. But how did you feel coming out halfway through the game there?
Yeah, I felt pretty good. Adding Levy in the future definitely will help the sport a lot. We can do more things, and parts of what I did, I might change. I guess choices I made, I might have charged those Hearthguard into the Warlord instead of, reworking that. So, you have all the options. So you have mounted Hearthguard, you've got heavy weapon Hearthguard. So this was just the first run to get them painted and get something on the table. So probably, I think it was fine for this scenario. Because once my warlord couldn't move really once she grabbed the objective, so I was really contingent on holding the line there. So wasn't. I'll have to add up the points, but I had to get all 3 objectives to get the big win here, so I didn't do that. So you held me back in that, so I think that's a win, and we have to add it up.
offhand, I don't know if you're close enough to make it a minor victory, but it wasn't a blowout or anything by any stretch as far as the tournament points go. So we're gonna play round 2. At some point here, you're gonna have 5 points of Ordenstadt. I'm gonna have 4 points of Eastern Princes. The second scenario is Battle of Heroes, and it's not totally random, but it's mostly random. There's 3 different results and there's a different objective or something like that. So we'll get into that when we get to it at some point, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or month or 2. Who knows? We'll try, but don't hold your breath. It was a challenge just getting this first one going, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun to follow along. And our warlords gained experience too, so we'll have to look at that and figure it out. So come back for the next one when it lands. I'll keep you guys in the loop, but I think this is going to be a fun little series, and if it goes well, we could probably do something similar in the future for other war bands. We'll just take it one battle at a time. And thanks for watching. If we messed up any of the rules, let me know. I'm sure somewhere in there. We're trying to go pretty fast at the end to make some time requirements. So I'm sure there's something in there. If you want to give some advice to our boy Zach here, I'm sure he would appreciate it. Ordens is a challenging board, knowing when to trade. Fatigues on your side, so that one shooting, taking a fatigue, and then my warlord goes in, maybe not the best call in that situation. So that's the tough thing about the Ordens is you shoot yourself in the foot potentially on some of those abilities, and we'll get the hang of it. This will be good practice for the real Fimbulwinter for you. I'm going to be using a different warband, but I'm having fun with the princes here. And you're building new models. We're waiting for the Medbury Miniatures Kickstarters to arrive. That's going to be my unit of Hearthguard.
New Viking warband next year.
Mounted boys. So if that doesn't drop till the end of the campaign, I'll just be using one unit of Hearthguard the whole time. But I played a couple games. Actually, I think it works fine with just one unit. But that'll be it. Thanks for watching. Check you later.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the game, buddy.
Thank you for the game, Joe. Always fun.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye. So after adding up the massacre points and including the bonus points, the final score was 20 for me and 13 for Zach. We're using the Fame scoring system from Fimbulwinter itself. That works out to 3 Fame points for me for winning the game. I did not capture all 3 objectives. That would have been an additional Fame. And I did not get 30 or more massacre points, which would have unlocked an additional Fame as well. Zach starts with a 0 for a loss, but he lost by less than 10 points, 20 to 13, difference of 7, so he scores a Fame for that. So in the final battle, I'll have a bonus of 3 massacre points, and Zach will have a bonus of 1 massacre point. Of course, games 2, 3, and 4 will increase those totals. For the next game, Zach will have 5 points to my 4. So we'll see if that is enough to overcome the Lithuanians here. For the Warlord experience points, using the Book of Battles, we both get 2 for participating in the battle. We both get 1 for participating in a melee or shooting action. Neither was eliminated, and I won the battle. So I will have 4 experience points for my Warlord, and Zach will have 3. You only need 3 to get the first domain or talent unlocked. So both of us will have something going into the second game, but we haven't figured out what that'll be yet. A link to the tournament packet with the scenario and some of these rules I've been discussing here will be in the description of the video. Thanks to Zach for agreeing to this 5-game/video odyssey. Give him some love in the comments. If you like what you're seeing here and want more of it, please consider joining the Patreon. All right, later, guys. Saga! If you'd like to see more Saga content, consider joining the Heathen Army over on Patreon or popping on down to the Saga Thursday Discord server. Links below. Thanks, guys.